you have been releasing generative art collections, you have been releasing works, different places with great galleries like Bright Moments. I think proof from a curated show with Emily C as well. Um, and I think you were the first artist in residence from Bright Moments. Am I right? You were the first one that kind
Yeah.
of participated in that setup. So how was that? Like that experience in working with a gallery like Bright Moments, which puts so much effort into displaying the art and working with the artists together and putting a great show. How was that experience for you?
So for me, it was like the first time that I guess I had like a really big platform like pushing me. I literally got so I'd met Seth and Christy a couple of, I think once or twice before I did anything with them, and that was like I think digital art salon, which was happening in London. Because one thing I do quite a lot of the time, because I was mainly focused on like touch design and interactive works. So the best way to show someone interactive work is to show them the interactive work. So I'd carry my laptop
Mm,
and whatever devices I wanted to kind of showcase, and I'd bring them down to these like
mm,
events and have it out on the table and people kind of play with them. So that's the first time I met Christy and Seth, and then obviously still being in contact with like Spontaneity and stuff because we typically go to these events together. When he started working with them and they were sorting out the London show, he reached out and said, "Hey, there's this opportunity if you want to do like a live minting experience, mobile minting, sorry." So they literally had an iPhone at the time, and they would go around to like
mhm,
collectors and it would mint straight to your wallet. I literally had a week to make that project. So I spoke
mm,
with Phil on like the 25th of June, and then Mint Zero came out on the 30th. So that was that was a very interesting experience, and the couple of weeks I spent down in London with them definitely opened my eyes to like the difference between like an NFT show and a Bright Moment show. Because prior to that, on my
mm,
only view of NFT shows was a room with a couple of screens dotted around, not much care for presentation. So kind of watching them and
mhm.
how they've built their shows, it's been very inspirational. It's kind of changed how I perceive my work and how I want to present my work.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They definitely pay a lot of attention to the details and it's just about designing, the whole experience for artists, but also for collectors, right? And I think that was a great way, to get, I think every artist in a way would like to be part of that kind of, shows. Um, and I didn't know. So is that the collection NTH Culture? Is that the one, the first one
No,
you released with Prime Moments, or was it another one?
so the first one with was translucent panes. And that was
Okay.
essentially the base idea for it was just to have like literally, I don't know if you're familiar with like cellophane, like different colored plastic that's see-through, and you just lay them over each
Mm,
other, and then you get like the color mixes and a whole bunch of different effects. So that was like my first like generative art project on the Ethereum network. Ed Culture followed like very soon. Like I think I did Translucent Pains in July, and then End Culture came November.
that one, that the Nth Culture, because I think that's the first one I saw from you, the first collection I saw from the first time I saw your work, and I was really really impressed. And I think it has some influences from at least some palettes from your history, maybe from Africa. Am I right? What is the inspiration behind it from Ant culture?
Yeah, so my mum comes from a place in Cameroon called Bamenda. It's like the southern Cameroon's borders in Nigeria. So Cameroon is
Hmm.
bilingual, so the majority is like French speaking, and this little section of the country
Okay.
is English speaking. So when I was, given the opportunity by Bright Moments to create like a standalone collection, I had like a myriad of options. I could have gone down the abstracting route, the cliche generative art project, but I thought, you know what, like in this massive space, I don't really see much. many people that look like me are doing anything that represents like where I come from. So I figured this is a
Mm-hmm.
good place to kind of like, pivot and, try to do something a bit different. So yeah, that's how kind of, end culture came in, and, also just how I felt as well at that moment in time. I felt like, I was connecting more and more so with my culture and like, family back home. So this was, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it was my how I felt at that time. I felt connected, I felt plugged in, and I wanted to learn more about my family back home and kind of merge my current interest with my history.